Welcome to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge, your front row seat to the boldest ideas and smartest strategies in the marketing game. Your host is Reed Hansen, Chief Growth Officer at MarketSurge.
Hello and welcome back to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge. Today's guest is someone who has built an entire career around turning attention into revenue. Naresh Vissa is the founder and CEO of Krish Media and Marketing, a full-service e-commerce, technology, and digital marketing agency. Over the years, he's worked with major brands and organizations including CNN Radio, Clear Channel, JP Morgan Chase, the Houston Rockets, the Houston Astros, Agora Financial, and Stansberry Research. He's also the #1 best-selling author of multiple books, including 50 Shades of Marketing, Podcastnomics, The New PR, and From Nobody to Best-Selling Author. If you've ever wondered how podcasts, books, and media exposure can be turned into real business growth, this is the guy who literally wrote the playbook. Naresh has been featured across major outlets like USA Today, Bloomberg, Business Insider, Yahoo, and MSNBC, and today he's here to talk about how entrepreneurs can use media, podcasting, and modern PR to reach millions. And for listeners of the show, he's actually giving away his best-selling book, 50 Shades of Marketing, completely free. We'll include instructions later in the podcast and in the show notes. Naresh, welcome to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge.
Thanks a lot, Reed. It's a pleasure to be on.
Thank you. Well, I feel like I'm speaking with a celebrity. You've had such success being featured on major platforms and working with some big brands. What has been your biggest experience working with some of these large brands, these very noteworthy brands, CNN, Houston Astros, et cetera? What are the biggest takeaways working with them?
A lot of different takeaways. The first thing I will say is going independent contractor, consulting, digital marketing agency, really anything. If you want to be an accountant, if you want to be an attorney, your goal should be ultimately end up having these big name brands as clients. That should be your goal. That's what you want to build yourself to. So the question should be, well, I think everybody wants to do that. How do you do that? Everybody wants to work with big Wall Street banks or CNN or, whatever household name. Everybody wants to do that. But how do you do that? In my case, you have to really get your feet through many different doors. And I can tell you really quickly some strategies, not just to get your feet through the doors, but to sell yourself. Part of it is old school. I used to live up in New York, and I used to attend companies. This was back when LinkedIn was not, to me, LinkedIn now is one big site. I rarely go on there outside of checking a few profiles once every month maybe. But back then, when LinkedIn first came out, there weren't a lot of people on. So when you sent a message to somebody, they responded back. Now, like I said, most of the messages that you're getting from LinkedIn are very likely spam or some type of AI chatbot. But back then, you sent somebody a message and you said, hey, I'm in New York City. Here's what we have in common. It could be an alumni thing. You and I attended the same school, or we used to work at the same company, or I would call it a business trip, and I would love to meet up if you're free. And I was surprised. I don't know how things are today, but back then, my success rate was like 50%, 60% of people responding saying, yeah, sure. It's almost like these folks wanted saying, hey, you and I are alumni from the same school, or we attended the same school, and I'm going to be in Midtown Manhattan for a business trip. Even if I was just visiting to get out of the office, wanted to meet someone young, and in many cases, they ended up either referring me to HR for interviews, or feet, not just one foot, many different, I have 2 feet. I got both feet through multiple different doors. And that's one strategy that I use. Even before LinkedIn, it was if I knew somebody who was like a professional career coach, or a professional, which I happened to know, like in high school and in college, I knew that's the benefit of school. I think so many people get caught up with are you teaching my kids this in school? Are you teaching my kids that? Like, one of the huge benefits of going in person to university is that they do have these career centers. They do have these career development, directors of career development, who do have the biggest value that they have is they have those contacts to those companies that you named, to the Clear Channels, to the JP Morgans, to the Astros. They do have those contacts and those connections. That's one of the biggest value holds that modern education, to at least 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that those are a huge advantage. And I'm sure that's still the case today. So how is it working with these companies? I mean, once you start working with them, it's incredible, really, because you work with big companies and they take care of you, and there are all sorts of moving parts to starting your own business, even if it's a tiny little business. There are lots of different moving parts. There's the sales side, which is the most important side, because if you're not selling, then you're not making anything. There's obviously the marketing side, which is an offshoot of the sales side. All of this can come under business development. But then there's like the admin side. There's the accounting side, the bookkeeping, the legal stuff. I mean, as I talked to you, we're 2 days away from corporate tax return. And I just got off the phone with my accountant and was like, hey, you got everything, it's time to file. And I had to put in a lot of work to make sure I got everything. And when I say everything, we're not talking like 1 or 2 documents. We're talking folders worth of stuff. Lots of instructions and also.
Naresh, I think you got muted just a second ago. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you are working with these big companies, they actually make your life easier because you're not hunting them down for payments, and they just take care of you better. So the goal for any marketer, for any business person, is at the end of the day, if you're a client-based business, you want to work with big clients. You work with like corporations. You want to work with big companies. Those are the clients who you will have a long, fruitful relationship with.
Interesting. Well, okay, so you've built agencies, you've written books, hosted podcasts, guested on podcasts, had a lot of opportunities like that. Which of these efforts and platforms has driven the most business for you?
There's a mix. You have to do it all. And like you said, you just scratched the surface. I hosted my own podcast called The Work From Home Show. Ran that podcast for about 5 years, from 2020 to 2024. So for nearly 5 years, had that podcast. I've written 5 books to date. Most of them were e-commerce, online, and digital business related. My most popular book was Podcastnomics, the book of podcasting to make you millions. The book that I'm most proud of is 50 Shades of Marketing, which you talked about earlier, and which I'm glad to give away free of charge to your audience. If they visit my website, nareshvissa.com, they can contact me through there, and I would love to give that away. I also wrote The New PR, which is a book all about public relations. I also wrote, a book about 21st century public relations in the online and digital world. And then my latest book is called From Nobody to Bestselling Author. And then I wrote another book that's more politically oriented. We don't need to get into that one, and that one did very well as well. I've written 5 books to date. The books have helped a lot because the books, they got you listed MSNBC and Bloomberg and CNN and all these media. The books helped me get media coverage. Journalists, reporters quoted me in various media. You can go to nareshvissa.com to see all my latest. But the books helped out a lot, certainly. The podcasting helped out a lot, certainly, because the Work From Home Show was named by multiple outlets as anywhere from number 1 to top 10 work from home podcast on the internet. And we interviewed all sorts of big name folk. We had people wanting to come on our show. You can go to workfromhomeshow.com or just go on your podcast app and see all the big name guests who we had. So picked up clients through the Work From Home Show. We had folks who we interviewed on our show coming in and saying, hey, can you help me launch a podcast? Sure, we offer that service. KrishMediaMarketing.com. KrishMediaMarketing.com is the name of my digital marketing agency. Just having a simple website to tell people to go to. Even when I'm out and about, it doesn't even have to be a networking event. Sometimes I'm at like my son's friend's birthday party, and just water cooler talk, and people ask, oh, what do you do? And oh, you have this company, and I just show them a QR code, and they can click that QR code and they're taken straight to my website, my LinkedIn, really the website is a central location where I take people to. So that's another marketing strategy. I have a referral program and I highly recommend this, highly recommend this, because to me, it's astounding how people don't run the numbers properly in their head. I am happy. A true marketer understands marketing spend. They understand marketing for ROI. And this is something that I go into in 50 Shades of Marketing. I know we have artificial intelligence now. It's going to be taken over, but you still need to know the basics and the fundamentals. Marketing spend, of generating a profit, of customer acquisition, of customer lifetime value. So just really quickly, as an example, if I know, this is just an example, that my customer, the lifetime value of my customer is $200,000, all right, then I should be okay. I should be okay spending $1,000 acquiring that customer. And that's what people, I don't know if it's, they don't like doing math or they don't like thinking about numbers, but people don't look at it that way. And it's still to this day, I have clients, I have friends, they tell me, they say, oh, I don't want to give away, $1,000 referral bonus or $1,000 referral fee. I don't want to do that because that's money out of my pocket. And then when you look at it a completely different way, which is, well, if that client becomes your customer and they are paying you $200,000 over the life of your business relationship, $1,000 is a drop in the bucket. So I bring this up because we have a referral program. If you refer business to us, whether it's you read or it's a listener or it's an existing client, well, you get a break. You certainly will get some type of price break. It just varies on the type of project that we take on, but it's, hey, you're going to get X discount on your next bill, or you're going to get this free of charge, or you have to offer those types of incentives and programs because people will take it seriously. And there are countless companies that we all use, from Uber to, my wife just sent me some restaurant loyalty rewards program saying, hey, sign up for this, even though I have no interest in the restaurant, because she gets like $10 off at lunch or something. So we all utilize these programs every day, and you need to, if you're a business owner, you need to utilize them as well. I found that to be incredibly useful and beneficial. And you'll be surprised at how many, I've had clients who said, oh, I don't want your referral bonus. I'm happy to refer you simply because you guys do a good job. We'll pay you full price. Like, we don't want the referral bonus. Like, it's astounding to me how many clients have come back and said that. So there are a lot. It's a big pie. And we just touched, in my book, 50 Shades of Marketing, really, it's a big book, over 200 pages. And it goes through this pie step by step, every single piece of the pie, from the podcasting, the public relations, the book writing, the QR code. Well, back then there weren't QR codes, but I would add that in today if I were to write an updated version. The AI generation stuff, the LinkedIn. I mean, we're just scratching obviously social media. There's just some of the website. There's so much that we could go over and talk about.
You mentioned when you were talking about LinkedIn being a bit of a cesspool for communication, and AI, a lot of it is because of AI generated messaging. Do you find there are places where AI is a real asset in marketing? Places you recommend people use AI in their marketing?
100% now today. You cannot market effectively without using artificial intelligence. There is this concern right now, and we're seeing it in the jobs numbers and the decline in the housing market. I'm a really big real estate guy. Most of the marketing we do now is real estate marketing. We're seeing it, and I'm a glass half full type of person. I am not a glass half empty type of person. I can go through the same experience other people, and I'll come out with a completely different perspective that's going to be more inspirational. With AI, I'm hearing so much negativity. Oh, my job is gone. This thing is taking over. We're screwed. Humans are screwed. This is the end of employment. And whereas I've been using AI has drastically improved my productivity. And I'm going to give examples. but it's drastically improved my productivity. It's drastically improved my well-being. It's helped me professionally. It's helped me personally. It's helped me be a better parent. And let's give examples for each thing. So let's start with the business side. Let's start with the business side, the marketing side. So on the business side, AI, to give you some examples, I run a digital media marketing agency. We also do tech work and some basic IT work. My background is not in IT, and I would hire people many times to do the IT work. With AI, I can literally go to AI, share the problem that the client has, and the AI already knows me. So it will respond back by giving me step by step, as if I'm a fourth grader, how I can solve this problem by myself. An easy, like previously you had to Google this and you had to go through a bunch of different sites and try to piece things yourself, and it would take a long, here AI does it for you. Boom. So like last week we had a client, they had a web issue, an email issue, and it required some back-end IT work. Previously I would have had my guy in India go in, do it, paid him money, and then that's how it would have been done. But in this case, I went to AI, within 15 minutes, the job was done, and boom. The marketing side, there are now AI services, AI apps. So we do a lot of flyer creation. We do a lot of web design. Now AI can literally, what would take 2 to 3 weeks to create a website, AI can create it in, let's just say, a couple of hours. It's going to take you some time to put everything in there, provide the blueprint, and then boom, there are programs out there that do it for you. I'm going to share a few resources really quickly because I'm just so excited about AI, and I'm so excited, and I think this is a tremendous opportunity to help people. This is not an enemy, and too many people treat these breakthroughs as enemies, and they're not enemies. They are our friend. In fact, AI is my friend. Like it's actually my friend. It talks to me like
clip it for the highlight reel, that quote.
So the first one, for example, because this is a marketing podcast, there's a research, and again, I just want to give examples so people understand just how incredible this is. In video, one word, okay? You can download, and most of these you do have to pay, and rightfully so, because if you paid, I used to have to hire a video person to do all this stuff, and it would take them a day to go somewhere, get all the footage, come here, and you're paying thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And you go to InVideo, and these things charge like $20 a month, $30 a month. Mm-hmm. You go to an InVideo, and you literally put in your company website, and it asks you a few questions. What is your company? Just put in your website. Everything's there. Is there anything else you want to add about your company? The official logo, a nice vector file of your logo, any videos, anything else you want to add about your company. You just put it all in there. And then boom, it creates a like Hollywood produced 30-second commercial promoting your company. Okay? That's an example, because I've worked on projects. Krish Media Marketing is a digital media and marketing agency. I've worked on projects where we hired legitimate camera crews coming and interviewing people and walking around and doing all this stuff. I mean, I know some companies that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you look at, what was this, Cracker Barrel last year, they ran this new branding campaign, and they spent, I was blown away at how much money they spent. And I'm probably going to be under quoting this, but they spent tens of millions of dollars. And now I just have to look up really quickly how much it costs. But do you want to spend tens of millions of dollars, or do you want to spend, a few $100s? Because literally I looked at their marketing campaign and I said, are you serious? Like, my company could have run this campaign for, $10,000 max. With AI, they could have used AI to run this campaign for probably even less than that. So they apparently spent I was off. I said tens of millions. They spent $700 million, okay? $700 million to rebrand, update their logos. Now, I understand some of this. They remodeled their interiors, changed colors, changed menus. So get some of the cost. But they ended up scrapping their branding. It turned into a big disaster. It backfired on them, and they scrapped the whole campaign, $700 million. Okay. And I bring this up because AI, this thing is incredible. In video is just one example. How about I give you another example? We do a lot of webinars for clients. Online special events, online conferences, webinars. Been doing it since 2017. So for almost 10 years doing these things. Because with webinars or online special events, online live events, you probably need a PowerPoint deck, a slide deck, PowerPoint deck, some type of slideshow, right? There's a tool called Gamma AI. Gamma AI. Same thing. It's like, you could probably get a free trial for a month, but let's just say it's like $10 a month, $20 a month. You can literally just upload the audio into this Gamma AI, and it'll ask you a few questions. What do you want your PowerPoint to be about? What are the colors that you want? So you just fill out the form. It takes 5 minutes to fill out the form, and then boom, it will create what looks like a professional, I don't want to say Hollywood style because I already used that term. Let's just say professional design, graphically designed slide deck, PowerPoint slide deck for you to use. And I worked on Wall Street for some time. I was you brought up JP Morgan. I also worked at a value fund. And literally there are jobs as an analyst when they hire you fresh out of college or grad school. Half the job is Excel, and we can get to that. Right. And the other half of the job is creating these pitch decks, creating these slide decks for road shows and for presentations. And you legitimately spent the job is at, you're spending tens of weeks of the year just perfecting these slide decks. And now it's done. I mean, literally you use AI to create your financial model. You don't have to, I literally spent months on these financial models, creating what are called discounted cash flow models, accretion, dilution, analysis, you name it. I spent months perfecting these models and tweaking and going through 10K. I did not like it. Going through 10K, sifting through 10K, trying to find keywords. You can literally now just upload the 10K to AI. It does the work for you. You can take that 10K and say, create a discounted cash flow model. You can put in your own assumptions if you want. It does it for you.
Right.
And then you can say, now create a pitch deck. I am pitching to this client on this date. This is the company that I work for. This is the logo. Create a pitch deck. Boom. Now create a 30-second commercial, Hollywood style, that is promoting this investment idea that I have, this company, and boom. Literally one good, on Wall Street, they legitimately work 20 hours a day. I'm not making that number up.
Yeah.
So one good 20-hour day has just done 4 or 5 months worth of work.
It's amazing. Well, Naresh, this has been very educational. You have some tremendous experience. I would love to refer people to check out your book, check out your work at nareshvissa.com, as well as Krish Media and Marketing, where your agency is located. And it's been a pleasure having you on the show, Naresh.
Thanks a lot, Reed. It's been great talking about digital media and marketing as well as AI.
Please follow up and check out these books and Naresh. Thanks so much, Naresh.
Want to stay ahead of what's actually working in marketing right now? Head over to MarketSurge.io and see how we're helping businesses grow smarter, faster, and louder. That's MarketSurge.io, because your next breakthrough shouldn't be a guess.